Hey there, movie lovers. Today, we're diving into the latest installment of the Marvel Cinematic Universe with Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. Paul Rudd is back as Scott Lang, aka Ant-Man, as he embarks on a new adventure in the quantum realm. But does this sequel live up to the hype of its predecessors? Stick around as we break down everything from the performances to the special effects, and whether or not this film is a must-see for Marvel fans. So sit back, relax, and let's get started. If you remember, the first movie Ant-Man came out in 2015 and it was 2 hours of nonsense and branding. To be honest, it was pretty disappointing and left us all wondering if the character was more farm team material than A-lister. But somehow, Marvel managed to make it a hit, and so here we are with another Ant-Man movie. Now, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania is not the last installment in the franchise, but it might as well be. The movie is just lacking in inspiration, and it's clear that Marvel is just trying to cash in on the success of the first two movies. However, I will say that the Ant-Man and the Wasp was pretty good. It had a buoyant energy and was a greater success than the first movie. But unfortunately, this latest installment just falls flat. So, I just gotta say, it's not exactly a groundbreaking movie. It's a mishmash of recycled ideas and shtick from Dune, Star Wars, and even Marvel's own annals. But, let's be real, there's not much else shiny and new in theaters right now, so it'll probably vacuum up cash anyways. The movie serves mainly as a launching pad for a new villain, Kang, played by Jonathan Majors. After some perfunctory table setting, Ant-Man, aka Scott Lang, Paul Rudd, and his brainiac romantic partner, the Wasp, Evangeline Lilly, suit up to save their family and the world. There are quips, the usual obstacles, and some household drama thrown in. And, oh yeah, Catherine Newton plays the Ant Kid. In Quantumania, directed by Peyton Reed and written by Jeff Loveness, things start off innocuously enough. The movie bops along with the charm and professionalism of its performers, and your narrative expectations keep you engaged. And then, something finally happens. Ant-Man, played by Paul Rudd, and his crew get sucked into the quantum realm, a trippy alternative universe filled with swirling colors and looming threats. It's in the quantum realm that we finally learn the mysteries of Hope's mother, Janet, played by Michelle Pfeiffer, who spent many enigmatic years there. But, of course, there's some narrative delay before we get there. The script is barely there, with Jeff Loveness being the sole writer. The first two movies had multiple writers. We see our tiniest hero, Scott Lang, played by Paul Rudd, taken to bigger and more exciting places. The movie starts off with Scott enjoying his life as a time and space jumper. But, his daughter Cassie, played by Catherine Newton, challenges his contentment. While she fights for causes she believes in, he's just happy being famous. Janet Van Dyne, played by Michelle Pfeiffer, who was rescued from decades stuck in the quantum realm, is keeping secrets about what happened down there. And, there's potential for some meaty material to explore with these storylines. But, before any of that can happen, the quantum stuff hits the fan and they're all transported to crazy land. Quantumania takes the franchise to exciting new places and sets up some intriguing storylines. The cast, as always, is charming and professional, but the script doesn't quite live up to its potential. However, the action scenes and trippy visuals make it an entertaining addition to the Marvel Universe. The quantum realm, with its darkly ominous hues, fractal shapes, and biomorphic organisms, is a trippy place to visit in Quantumania. There are streams of fire, strange beings, and even Bill Murray pops in briefly as a lord, flirting with Michelle Pfeiffer's character before drifting out to cash his paycheck. Despite Murray's brief appearance, there are plenty of attractions to keep your eyes engaged, and the creature design is quite clever. The colors in the quantum realm lean towards dun and dull red with slashes of marine blue, but it's still fascinating to see how the movie brings this alternative reality to life. The CGI wizards behind the visuals in Quantumania have clearly spent time studying deep space images captured by the Hubble telescope. The visuals are a highlight of the movie, and it's worth seeing just for the spectacle of it all. However, don't expect much depth in the story or characters. Quantumania is a fun and diverting addition to the Marvel Universe, but not necessarily a memorable one. They're hoping to turn their silliest superhero series into a true MCU blockbuster. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania tries to up the ante with high stakes, intense drama, and important lore tied to the overarching multiverse saga. To its credit, the movie manages to maintain the endearing, deadpan humor that Paul Rudd brings to his portrayal of Scott Lang, while also supersizing the adventure. However, in its eagerness to do so much, some of the characters, ideas, and plotlines feel underdeveloped. Thankfully, Jonathan Majors' performance as the new villain Kang steals the show. He delivers a chilling and memorable performance, but unfortunately, Even he can't save the movie from the MCU's tendency to get in its own way. While there are definitely some entertaining moments in Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, it ultimately falls short of being a true standout in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Nonetheless, fans of the franchise will still enjoy the fun and humor that has made it so beloved, and it's worth seeing for Jonathan Majors' performance alone. The family dynamics in Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania are quickly established, giving the audience a clear understanding of the drama before the story takes off into the quantum realm. Scott's relationship with his daughter, Cassie, is the heart of the film, and while their initial conflict may feel superficial, Paul Rudd and Kathryn Newton's performances bring depth to their characters and their complicated relationship. As the adventure unfolds, we see the emotional layers peeled back, leading to some of the film's most genuine and heartfelt moments. Ultimately, the way the film handles its emotional core is one of its biggest strengths. Quantumania takes the audience on a wild ride through the quantum realm, exploring hefty themes and more, much like an episode of 1960s Star Trek. Jeff Loveness, a former writer for Rick and Morty, penned the script, which is evident in the film's surreal and humorous highlights. The bizarre universe is inhabited by wackadoodle aliens, including a creature that is curious about human holes, a walking and talking broccoli, and Marvel Comics' infamous killing machine MODOK. The film embraces MODOK's absurdity, adding to the fun and levity of the story. If you're a fan of trippy sci-fi, you'll enjoy this adventure into the unknown. Quantumania certainly delivers on the visuals, but ultimately falls short of true greatness. The trippy set pieces and surreal elements are there, but they feel like they're missing that special something that would make them truly memorable. And while the CGI is impressive, there's just too much of it, and the green screen is all too apparent. It's almost like a modern-day Star Wars prequel but without the same level of subtlety. Unfortunately, the film's climax feels disappointingly conventional, failing to fully embrace its weirdness. Ant-Man tries to go big, but in doing so, it loses some of the charm that made the previous films in the franchise so endearing. Despite introducing Kang the Conqueror as the new big bad, the motivations for his actions are not well established, and the story feels more focused on setting up what comes next than on the current events. While there are some imaginative set pieces, they don't quite reach the levels of inventiveness seen in other MCU films. Ultimately, the film feels inconsequential, lacking the edge that would have made it truly impactful. In short, Ant-Man is better off staying small. Even with its flaws, Jonathan Majors steals the show as the villain Kang. He brings a certain eccentricity to the character that makes him captivating and multidimensional. The best scenes are the ones where he interacts with Michelle Pfeiffer's character, and they talk through their complex history. These moments are tense and chewy, reminding us of the power of good old-fashioned human interaction. Despite the flashy CGI and wild creatures, it's the conversations between Kang and Pfeiffer that truly stick with you. Majors proves once again that he's a force to be reckoned with in the acting world. Quantumania is a fun movie, but not necessarily a must-see. The middle hour is enjoyable in that classic Ant-Man style. Director Peyton Reed and screenwriter Jeff Loveness give the characters room to explore the quantum realm, which is like a trippy sci-fi cartoon version of those old adventure serials. You know, the ones where the explorer misunderstands a local tribe's gesture and gets into all kinds of trouble. The realm is full of strange creatures and surreal landscapes that are a delight to watch. Overall, while it may not be essential viewing, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania is a fun ride. In the middle hour, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania takes us on a wild ride through the psychedelic and whimsical quantum realm, with all its bizarre creatures and strange inhabitants. From a guy with a flashlight for a head to a transparent, gelatinous creature who is fascinated with human holes, this realm is full of surprises. Paul Rudd's comedic timing shines as Scott Lang encounters these strange creatures, including a telepath who is cursed to hear everyone's thoughts. The houses in this realm resemble a cross between Fred Flintstone's home and the Pillsbury Doughboy, and they can even walk and defend themselves in war. The film's visual effects bring to life a plethora of gelatinous bugs, fungi and lichen-shaped trees, and even a giant-scaled creature resembling Godzilla. One disappointment in this film is the underutilization of Michael Douglas Hank Pym, and the lack of substantial screen time for Evangeline Lilly's Hope, despite being in the film's title. However, Michelle Pfeiffer's Janet Van Dyne shines as she finally confronts her traumatic experience in the quantum realm with a strong and nuanced performance. After being sidelined in the previous movie, it's great to see Pfeiffer take a more central role here. Majors' performance as Kang in Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania is absolutely incredible. He captures the multifaceted nature of the infamous Marvel villain perfectly. Kang is burdened with his control over time, yet he has the will to use it to achieve his nefarious ends. Majors delivers a steely and sinister portrayal of Kang, in stark contrast to the flamboyant and wild-eyed he who remains variant we saw in Loki. The irony of the powerful and dangerous Kang facing off against the goofball who talks to ants makes for a deliciously entertaining showdown. Ant-Man and Kang's power levels are miles apart, with the villain being an Avengers-level threat in the comics. However, writer Jeff Loveness and director Peyton Reed find clever ways to give Ant-Man a fighting chance, resulting in some imaginative action sequences. But while the fights are enjoyable to watch, the stakes don't feel as high as they should be, leaving the ultimate danger of the battles feeling rather toothless. Despite this, the movie is a fun and entertaining addition to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and Major's performance as Kang is particularly captivating, making it a must-watch for any fan of the franchise. And the entire story takes place in the quantum realm, which is filled with bizarre and surreal sci-fi elements, including beings with broccoli heads and flying mitochondria. While these visuals are fun to look at, they lack any real significance to the plot, making them feel like mere computer-generated distractions. This is in contrast to other films like Disney's Strange World, where the weirdness is explained and tied together. The characters we meet in the quantum realm are also underdeveloped, with Bill Murray's cameo feeling particularly inconsequential. The theme of fighting oppression is present in Quantumania, with Cassie being motivated to stand up against those in power, and Kang serving as a power-mad dictator to resist. However, the movie doesn't delve deep enough into these ideas, and it feels like a missed opportunity. The Star Wars series Andor showed us how rebellion can rise against fascism in detail, but Quantumania fails to provide a similar exploration. It's frustrating to see this important theme only being addressed in a surface-level manner. And that's it for our review of Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. Overall, the film is a fun ride that delivers on the patented Ant-Man humor and action. While the characters are enjoyable and the performances are solid, the film suffers from underdeveloped themes and an over-reliance on CGI spectacle. If you're a fan of the MCU or just looking for a lighthearted superhero flick, Quantumania is worth checking out. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more movie reviews and content like this. Thanks for watching.